level through the medium of Earth. Other accelerometers placed to a depth of 50 feet will record the deeper responses. To get still another cross-check on the shock front or blast wave, as its arrival time is clocked by succeeding stations along the blast line, we're utilizing another type of blast measurement instrument called a Bendix gauge, installed at ground level at each of the stations. At 10 feet and ground level, we're installing dust collectors to see, first of all, if the thermal phase does kick up dust, and if so, to determine the size and density of the material that could possibly be a factor in reducing the power of the shock wave, besides absorbing and retaining some of the heat. By establishing air temperature at ground level, at 10 feet and at 50 feet before the burst, during the period of thermal radiation, and during and after the shock wave, we hope to get one check on the effect of this hot air layer on the shock wave. We're using a self-recording temperature measurement device called a thermocouple, which contains a very delicate temperature-sensitive element capable of recording temperatures ranging from normal temperature on the Nevada desert up to 1,000 degrees centigrade and back again to normal in a few fleeting seconds. At some of the closest stations, we're installing other types of air temperature gauges, 2 and 4 feet above the desert floor, to further our studies on air temperature versus time in proximity to 0 point. We're installing another gadget, a sound velocity recorder, to give us still another cross-check measurement of the temperature of the air above the ground at the time of the burst, during the period of thermal radiation, and up to the time of arrival of the blast wave. This is done by measuring changes in the velocity of sound produced and received by the instruments. We hope this will prove to be still another way to determine the interference of the hot air layer close to the ground with the subsequent blast wave.
When is this going to be over?
By sundown, the day before the shot, we had our blast line poles fully decorated like a row of weird Christmas trees.
207.
The working scaffolds had been pulled down, the cable trenches filled, and the area leveled. Our job is over for the present. All we can do now is wait. What has been feverish activity during past days and weeks suddenly becomes quiet, studied, in a way desolate. This is the last check. The final inspection by Los Alamos and military test directors as they survey the blast line with its complicated array of instrumentation above and below the ground. All is secure. Frenchman Flat stands alone and ready for the first shot of this operation. Shot day. 0 hour minus 10 seconds. The drop plane has released the first weapon of the operation. And as the bomb falls, smoke rockets are fired to form a grid. High-speed cameras record their responses as a measurement of blast lines above the ground. This bomb is not a test of a new idea, but a weapon with a 1 kiloton yield detonated at an altitude of 800 feet to closely correlate the effects with the low-yield bomb of Buster Baker. Once the dust is settled and the safest routes for re-entry are chosen for us by the RadSafe people, we quickly move back to the blast line stations to recover our instruments and their very hard-to-come-by data as soon as we can.
He's asleep.
Although radiation levels are high and working time is short,
It's
perfectly okay for us to go in and take up our priority data.
Payback.
We're all understandably anxious to get the answers. Although this may take weeks or months of study and evaluation before the final determinations are made. With the first shot of the tumbler phase completed, we're taking the rest of the weapons north, some 10 miles across a ridge of mountains into the next valley, Yucca Flat, site of the Buster operation. To try different heights of burst over a completely different type of target. Stretching to the south, 12,000 feet from ground zero, are the various military effects measurement lines. The blast line here is basically a duplication of the Frenchman Flat blast line.
Look at me saying.
The target is a bullseye 500 feet across. By comparison with the lake bed and Frenchman Flat, the surface in this area is rough and dusty. By comparison with data we got at Frenchman Flat,
I swear to God.
we hope our instruments here will tell us if the thermal absorption characteristics of a target affect the shock wave.
Say hi to Deborah.
Here we will also
Hi,
get a
Deborah.
medical check on the effect
Deborah,
of
say
the
hi.
height of burst
Deborah, say
on the development and effectiveness of the shock wave
Now back to me.
and top line damage.
Reporting live in Mr.
Number up to
Reporting live in
15
Mr.
April
Boring ass
1960.
movie. We are watching a boring ass movie.
Is the same size as the one
It's just being a party
detonated over
pooper.
Frenchman Flat.
Cheats, shit. Everything.
Yield
I don't know what I'm
1
saying.
kiloton. Height of
Show it,
burst,
teacher. Show it, teacher.
1100
Ma'am,
feet.
you're reporting switching cameras?
This
Yes,
image
yes, that's sir.
detonate the same weapon over both the reflecting and
Yes, over
non-reflecting
and out.
target. 22 April 1962.
She said over and out.
Tumbler, cut 3. Weapon yield, 30 kilotons.
Can't do this for
Height
too
of
long.
burst, 3,500 feet. The same scaled height as shot number 2.
Don't do whatever you do. Don't move, okay?
Should together provide an
I
excellent
did.
check on the normal plan scaling law.
Yeah, my head hurts.
To help the defense establishment produce their new height of burst curve, the Air Force dropped the weapon in a standard ballistics case.
Are you sure it did it?
It's over, PG. PG.
What did you
Bro, watch this. You're about to see something really funny.
do it again?